Okay, folks, look, it's all in the title. We're making the Creole Cornbread Dressing, super easy, and guess what? I'm gonna be using some canned goods. Now, if you guys look at these ingredients, it's not a whole lot to it. Please don't let the lack of having a whole lot of ingredients make you think that this is not gonna be good. Super good, right? So I'm gonna go ahead and get right into these, into the prep work. Prep work is really, really easy. Now this is andouille sausage, right? Notice how I just cut that down the middle. And then, you know, most of your links and sausages got that little curve. So I kind of like just straighten it out and I bring it down this way. Just a little bit of a tip so you can keep your cut. Because look, if you do it straight, you guys can see it's not gonna be right? So I just start here and just straighten it up, get it down the middle and just cut it. Then once I have them cut down, you see what I'm doing right here. Real simple. Now, it's up to you how meaty you want yours to be. For me, I like everything that I do. I'm a meat lover, folks. Now, this is that chicken andouille, right? If you guys come in here and take a look at that, I want you guys to see. You can see the seasoning inside embedded in the actual andouille sausage, right? So that right there is where we're gonna get a lot of that flavor. Now, just because I'm cutting all this down, I'm gonna still look at it and see so I can get my ratio right. I'm gonna put a little fire underneath. I'm gonna start with like a medium flame. You guys, let me stand next to it so you guys can see. You know what I mean? That's what I mean when I say a medium flame, right? That right there do it. I just wanna start warming up the pan. While, my pan is still coming up, right? We already did our andouille. I'm gonna go ahead and prep my celery. I've already washed and cleaned it. And then I'm gonna dice down my, my bell pepper. We wanna go ahead and preheat our oven, right? So I'm gonna go bake. You know what I mean? Now we're gonna put in 350 and we start. This is so simple and easy to make. And again, please don't let this, the lack of a lot of ingredients, tell you that this is not good. This right here win them over too. You know what I mean? And don't forget the full ingredient list is on my website, smokingandgrillingwithab.com, and that's WITAB.com. I know andouille gonna render a lot of fat, a lot of goodness, right? But I'm gonna go ahead and drop that in there like that just to get it going, right? Then that'll melt. Now you wanna put your andouille in, right? Just to help it along. And tell me this, who doesn't like butter? Now, by me having a little bit of this butter in here, I want you guys to notice, look at the color that you're gonna see in just 1 second. And then we all know the little pro tip is, if we take a little olive oil, right? That protects that butter, keeps it from burning. Now, it's really about multitasking, especially with this being the holidays, right? So we got that going. Now I'm gonna go ahead and just cut down my bell pepper. Actually, that's about all I'm gonna need. So I'm gonna put this in a, Ziploc. I'll save this for another recipe. Now I'm gonna go ahead and cut these down, right? Like you saw that I didn't need that whole bell pepper. You know what I mean? You'll see why. It's like you just don't wanna have, so much in there. You know what I mean? You don't wanna like overpower it. You really just wanna have that blend. Same thing, with our celery. Break it down. I cut my celery, I dice it down just a little bit on the bigger side, I still like to be able to see it, and I like to be able to have some integrity, so I like to crunch a celery too. Now with our veggies done, our andouille and release what it's gonna release, right? I'm not trying to, it's got like a little bit of a light sear. I don't know if the camera's gonna pick that up, but this is where we're gonna get that flavor from, along with sauteing our vegetables, right? And then don't forget, we're gonna season this with a little bit of that Creole kick. I'm gonna go ahead and just put this in here like that. And the reason I'm pushing it gingerly, because you see that right there, I want to keep some of that in there, because like I said, we got to saute. Now, while the pan's still hot, right, you can see that right there. Any bits or anything, whatever you guys are using as far as your pan go, that you go in ahead and did your andouille in, anything that's left on the bottom, which will be called the fine, then we can go ahead and put our veggies in, and then when we add our veggies, guess what? It'll pick it all up, and we're gonna get all of that flavor in there. Now, what we doing, we multitasking, right? Veggies sauteing. Look, I'm gonna go ahead and take some non-stick spray. And what we wanna do is, we just wanna spray this because we don't want nothing to stick, right? I'm gonna move this over here for a second. I'm gonna bring my cornbread here, and then I'm gonna bring my bowl. Now, let me just give this another Little mix. We starting to get there. I can feel how when you're using the spatula, how it's, you know, touching it, you can feel like it got a little structure, you know what I mean? But it's starting to soften up. If you guys been cooking just for a minute, you know what I mean, but we got to start doing it, especially for my new people. Trust me, this is a great recipe for you guys to get started with. You want to bring something to the family, you know, function, as far as like the family get together, the Thanksgiving or something like that. Hey, better yet, you want to sample it out, do it for a Friendsgiving. Now, you want to go ahead and just take your cornbread, right? Now I'll leave a link. The link should be right up there to the cornbread that I make. This is the one that I make every year. There's no need to like redo that one. But listen, you want to make sure that it's been out a day or so, you know what I mean, so that it can completely dry out. That's why it looks like this, and it'll break like that, right? So then you just want to get in there with your hand, just like this. You just break it up. So I just give it a little bit of this. All my pieces don't have to be like super, you know, fine like some of this is, right? I just break up what I can, because you know what, once we put our wet in here, this is gonna be more so on the wet side like how Granny used to make it, you know? So take that, let's come back over here, look at these veggies working. Ah, yeah. Now I'm gonna give you guys a little heads up on myself. If I have these ingredients in my house, I make dressing in the middle of the night. It's so easy to make, right? So we just take it, turn that off. Look, we just add it right here, just like this. Now you guys can saute them however you would like. And again, I can't stress enough, if you guys are doing some kind of Friendsgiving, you know what I mean? This will get your confidence up to make sure, you know, to see if you want to make it for your family, right? So I'm gonna get in here now and just give it a little mix. I bet you some of y'all looking at this right now saying, I didn't know that making, you know, cornbread dressing was this easy. Now the rest is gonna be real easy. Here we got cream of celery, cream of chicken, right? You just wanna go ahead and add this to it, just like this. And I got it, this gonna be thick. You know, I cook with gloves. I really like to get in there with my hands to do a little mix, right? So, 1 down, 2 down. And then we said it's a Creole cornbread dressing, right? So after we put that andouille sauces in there, that gives us a hint of that. But how we tie it all in is, it's the seasoning that we're gonna be using, folks. It's that Creole kick that I use, right? And then the only thing we're gonna have is just our broth. So now I'm gonna put in about 1.5 tablespoons. And this is it right here, Creole kick, Sweet Smoky Joe. You guys know that I swear by it. You know what I mean? And I'm gonna say this, listen, you don't wanna overpower it, but you wanna give it that Creole authenticity, right? Ooh, I said it, y'all. You know what I mean? So we got that in there. I'm gonna start off, you know, using my hand, and I'm gonna change my gloves, and I'm gonna come back. Well, let's see if we can get it in here like this. So it's mixing okay, you know, but it's really gonna mix once I add this chicken broth to it. Once you got it mixed, now notice I haven't put none of my stock or broth, but this is chicken, right? I haven't put that in there, and it just gets a little bit, what am I trying to say? I'll just show you like this. I can take this, squeeze it, and see how it stays. I mean, that's good, but it's gonna dry out because we're gonna put it in the oven, but we wanna add that flavor to it too, also. Now, some of you guys grew up where your grandmother used to put oysters in there. This would be the time I'd put more oysters in and keep everything, you know, get it all mixed up, right? But I'm gonna add a little bit. Now, this part is completely up to you guys. It's about how wet you want your dressing to be, right? Now, we put that cornbread in there, I promise you, it's gonna absorb a lot of it. I'm gonna get all of that in here, but if you wanna put more in there, it's up to you. I would just suggest that you follow this recipe just the way I have it on my site. And don't forget, that's smoking and grilling with ab.com, and that's WITAB.com. You know what I mean? And then after you made it once, you know what I mean, then you decide if you want to be less dry or more wet, or you like the way that we made it right here. Now, if you guys look at this right here, this is gonna be the consistency that we start with. Hopefully you guys can catch this, really hard to do on camera. But you see how I have it on there? I can hold it upside down, how it sticks. I gotta like, you know, jiggle it a little bit just to make it, you know, fall off, right? So this is what you want. Now, in that grease 13 by 9, right? We put it in just like this. All right, now what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna stick this in the oven, right? Here's the thing, we're not gonna cover this. We wanna brown the top also and help dry it out just a little bit, right? But in the inside, it's still gonna be nice and moist, right? We're gonna stick it in the oven. I'm gonna put this in the oven for about 30 minutes, you know what I mean? Usually, I've never gone past 45 minutes, so I'm gonna say 30 minutes. We'll check it, see where we at, and then we'll go. If we need to go a little longer, we give it, you know, a little longer in 5-minute increments. And while I'm doing that, don't forget, I got these aprons, folks. You guys might want to pick one of these up. Listen, now I'm able to custom, you know, write your name, 3 different fonts, but you guys got it. Got burgundy, olive green, and everybody see me working in the denim. So, putting this in the oven right now, don't forget, 30 minutes, uncovered. All right, folks, now look, just took this out. Take a look at that right there. I hope the camera is catching that. Look, you see the little darker brown? I love the edges. I know everybody fight for the edges because it's got that crispiness in it. And then when I go ahead and hit this on the inside, it's gonna be nice and moist. You can see the andouille, you can see our veggies on top. This right here is what it is, folks. Now, if you guys are doing a turkey, you know you got them drippings, so you got that gravy. And guess what, folks? I done already made that video, so I got them drippings. I done made that gravy. So let me go ahead and plate everything up and then take some pictures, make the plate a star, make this a star, you know what I mean? And then we move on. All right, folks, look, I'm trying to hurry up, you know what I mean? I've been like holding myself back because when I actually scooped some of the cornbread dressing inside of here, it left a little bit, I tasted it, and boy, you want to talk about food being a time machine, folks. It take you back to like, you know, good times, back when your G-Pop and G-Mama, you know what I'm saying, everybody was just hanging around. Now listen, I'm gonna go ahead and do my thing. You guys can see it with a little gravy on the top of there, yes sir. And then I'm gonna ask you guys this right here. You tell me how you eat yours. I'm gonna do it like this first. Do you guys take dressing? Look at that right here. Ooh. Right? Do you get yourself a little bit of cranberry? And then do you get it like that? Dip it in a little gravy? And do y'all do yours like that? That's the way I eat mine. Cheers, y'all. I ain't gonna lie. When I go to somebody's house and they say, hey, we can eat, usually people tell me like, hey, B, go ahead and get yours first. I'm like, yes, sir. Because I go right to the cornbread dressing and I get them corners, folks. I'm laughing because listen, you want to talk about having restraint. I don't even know where I got it from. I'm ready to eat and I'm hungry. And that reminds me of my grandmama. I'm finna sit down and just get with down. I'm finna sit down and get with the get down, folks. When I tell you that, I mean it. Listen, everything about this is right, and I got it. Everybody not gonna have Creole kick. I don't know. We done sold so many, seasoning cans of it. I'm thinking everybody on the planet got it. You know what I mean? But if you don't have it, you got to get it. And if you don't, listen, I'll leave in my on my recipe card. Listen, you guys can just make use your own or your favorite Creole seasoning. That kind of like ties it in. And then for those of you guys who want to like really like reminisce, I don't know, maybe if you're from down south, you guys like to have them oysters in there, also. Now listen, I'm not finna over talk it. I promise you it's great. Please take the time to come back and talk to me and let me know. Especially if you're new to cooking something like this, let me know what you think about this. Now, for the new people, check this out. I want you guys to go out and tell the whole world there's a channel out here that's simplifying these recipes and taking the mystery out of cooking. And with that being said, I'll see you on the website, YouTube, IG, FB, and TikTok. And guess what? I'm out. Peace.